Hi, welcome to the Red Couch Reading Room. I hope you're ready for a road trip, a rollicking road trip through American literature. I am Miss Kara, and I will be your guide. Although I've taught many literature courses in my career over the years, I confess this is my favorite course to teach. It's not simply because I love to read, although I think you can tell that that's true. It's not simply because the American experiment is so unique. It's not simply because I'm an American, although all of those things are true. I love American Lit because nowhere else can we really see in an encapsulated form the formation of a voice of a nation. They think about big ideas. People are thinking about these big ideas, and we get to transport back to their time and their place and see through their eyes some of the themes that resonate all the way up to this current day. I get to see through the eyes of people and do things I'd never be able to do otherwise. So in this course, we're going to explore that rich and fascinating terrain of poetry, fiction, even nonfiction that comprises American literature. Most of it's written in America, some of it is written about America. The study of American literature makes for quite an interesting ride. We have always been here a feisty frontier people, a little bold, a little brash, a little envelope pushing, right? We're going to push the envelope. So not only is the literature interesting, but the study of it is going to improve your appreciation for language, for literature. It'll help immerse you in this world of ideas. It's going to sharpen your tools of perception and communication and research. So by the end of our trip, when you've spent this year with me in American literature, you're not only going to have experienced some wonderful literature, hopefully you will also have identified some new tools that are going to help you communicate through your writing and your speaking. You are going to come to a new appreciation of the stories and the poems and the movies and the songs that you encounter in your own world, and even have a new list of books and authors that you would maybe like to explore on your own. You're going to improve your grammar, your vocabulary, your interaction skills with literature by being purposeful about each of those things as we go through this year. In general, any trip you take is going to require some preparation, so we need a map, right? Well, your teacher, parent, tutor has access to a teacher's guide that is going to serve as our map. Every quarter they will download that onto a laptop or a tablet. They can print it off if they prefer, but it will have the answer keys, it'll have discussion guides, it'll have a timeline for each week's class meeting. Please follow it because we don't want to lose you somewhere with the Puritans in the colonial era. Secondly, we are going to make many stops along the way. Sure, we have to start at the beginning, right, with colonial literature, but we're going to be looking at an entire scope of the American timeline in terms of literature. So you're going to be enhancing your travels with maybe some Fast and Furious history presentations that I'll have for you. There may be all sorts of various things from history and from culture to give you context for the literature that you're going to be coming in contact with. There is a syllabus that is downloadable on the internet. You need to make sure that you have the texts that are highlighted in yellow, that you've purchased those full-length works. Everything else will be provided for you in a PDF form for you to download onto your tablet or your laptop to read. I ask if you do that, you certainly take notes. Some of the things, especially some speeches I ask you to annotate or poems I might ask you to annotate, you're going to need to print those off. Every time you see a worksheet or a reading packet on your screen, in your course landing page, up at the top, in the left-hand corner on the top as you're looking at it, is a little print icon. You can print those things out. Make sure every week when you come to discussion also that in addition to your book or reading packet, you bring pencil and paper to take notes, an active and open mind. You want to be purposeful and present, please, as you attend these discussions every week. We're going to be wrestling together with some ideas in literature. And it's that wrestling, it's that effort that increases your comprehension. So you need to engage. The other thing I would ask is, if you remember back from Intro to Lit, we talked about a crockpot mind versus a microwave mind. We really do have crockpot minds. We need to put ideas in, let them stew, let them sort of simmer and mingle in there a little bit to come up with our own ideas about them. So I'm going to ask that when you come to discussions, please don't have put all the reading off until that very morning, or, you know, slam it all in the end of your week. If you put it in the microwave, you will have a microwave conception of what it's about. If you put your ideas in a microwave mind, you will have wasted your opportunity to develop a voice on these issues. Okay, you've lost your opportunity to develop your own thoughts and ideas. So really stick it in that crock pot. Get your reading started early in the week so you can develop some ideas and thoughts, and you can think about it as you read it. Read it over a couple times, maybe even. Okay, and please do take notes, not only on our discussions, but you know what? You need to be marking up your text. Whether it's a text you've purchased or if it's a PDF that you're reading through, hopefully you have some way of highlighting on there, or you can take notes on a notepad. But you need to be engaging in the text, because otherwise you tend to forget what's going on. You might be asking, how's this course going to work? If you took Intro to Lit, it's going to be very similar. If you have not taken my Intro to Lit class here at Red Couch Reading Room, basically you're going to come in every week. You'll pull up your lessons for the week, print off any worksheets that you're going to need, download any reading packets you're going to need. You'll take the reading comprehension quiz first, then come on over and visit me for our first discussion of the day. We'll go over what you've read. We'll talk about your homework questions. We'll kind of consider some of the themes and ideas. Then you'll stop the discussion at the end. You'll do your classwork. You'll probably have a vocabulary puzzle. You're going to have some literary tool chest things to go through, which are going to be fun. You're going to be learning about different literary devices by looking at YouTube videos of some rock songs or Disney songs or nursery rhymes or whatever. See how they're used in song. Look and see how they've been used by classic poets. Think about those tools, because I want you to start integrating them into your own writing. There'll be some classwork, maybe some discussions, whatever's on the docket for that day. And then the very last thing you'll do is hit play on that second discussion that we have every week except this one. And I'll give you some road signs for the reading ahead, give you some things to look out for, give you maybe some background or context for the authors you're going to be working with. Okay, so I hope this is going to be a great year. Every semester you'll have a writing component where you get to voice your opinions and you get to talk about things you want to say. There'll be a selection, 8 to 10 prompts that you can choose from. You're going to write on 3 of them. There'll be vocabulary units. There are Aesop's fables that have been written with 8 to 12 errors in each one. Probably take you all of about 4 minutes to do those at the beginning of class after our first discussion. And you know, your teacher or parent might think you don't need to do all of those, or may ask you to do each of them depending on your skill level. I would ask that when you do these, pay attention. They're going to help you. It helps to learn to edit your own writing. Our brain wants to fill in the potholes in our own writing because we know what we meant to say. So this is a way of alerting you and getting you to be very conscious of the kind of writing errors that we all slip up and make occasionally. All right. So, you know, one of our great American poets said, Robert Frost said, education is the ability to listen to almost anything without losing your temper or your self-confidence. And this is what I hope that we can do this year. Listen to many divergent viewpoints. Listen to those who believe differently than we do. Trace how the American worldview has changed, how it's been shaped, but not let it affect either our temper, our self-confidence, or frankly, our beliefs, unless we are convinced that they should change. Great literature does that. It presents you with ideas with which to interact and to hone your tools of thought and expression. It expands your understanding of history because it puts you right there in the hearts and minds of the people who were living it. And this year it presents you with this tool chest to rattle around in. Find some tools you want to learn how to use. Figure out how to use them. Start implementing them in your own writing and speaking for great effect. Okay, it's going to help you become a more effective writer and speaker. But great literature is art. And art requires time. You have to take the time to interact with it. Poetry, you may have to read a poem once, twice, 3 times. Think of them like little puzzles, right? But most important of all, literature is the process through which we can participate in the great conversation that has been taking place since the beginning of recorded history. Every era has had great men and women, the smartest men and women, the men and women of ideas and heart and bravery and courage, have written their ideas down for us to discover. When you think critically about what they have written, and when you write in response, you are entering that great conversation. And that's what I hope we'll do this year. So, what is unique about American literature? You know, in particular, American literature is a bold, brash, frontier people. It took a special kind of person to come here on purpose and try to carve a life out of a wilderness. And they tend to be argumentative, opinionated, forthright. And these authors immediately started looking for new themes, new subjects, new styles of writing. American literature demands that we look at the history of this relatively new country. It demands that we face stereotypes, prejudice. It demands we look at their faith and look at their lack of it. Because all of these things form not just the foundation for American literature or not some sort of backdrop or setting against which we see it. No, these things form the very subjects and themes of American literature. So, I'm ready to begin. How about you? Are you ready? Come on into the Red Couch Reading Room. Let's get reading.